Charlie meets me right out here.
My name's Rachel Groene, and I'm with Greteman Group, helping out here at the publicity office at the Kansas State Fair.
So how many years have you been working with the State Fair now?
This is actually my fourth State Fair. Before joining full-time with Greteman Group, I actually interned, and through my internship experience, I got to work on the Kansas State Fair account. And then joining the team full-time, I got to help adopt that account as my own, working with my colleague Shelly Downs.
You guys seem to make a pretty good team to work for the Kansas State Fair.
We definitely do. She's great. We're really good at reading each other's minds, which is definitely what you need to have a good partnership. And we just absolutely love the fair account. We work closely with both Denny and Lori, and they're just absolutely fabulous to work with.
Mm-hmm. Now this year was a big milestone for the fair, and there's a lot of promotions went into the big 100 for the fair. Now, have you guys already started working on, next year is going to be the 100th anniversary of the fair. Have you guys already started working on your plans for that yet?
Of course, we're always brainstorming, even when we're out here at the fairgrounds, the previous year to next year, which would be right now. We're thinking of what we can do social media-wise, what we can do for giveaways, how we can make sure those statewide promotions are making the most for the fair. So we're definitely always brainstorming and thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned social media. How much has that impacted promotions and stuff with the State Fair, like
Sure.
Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that?
Social media is huge, not only in the statewide stations that we work for ticket trades with. They give away tickets on their social media accounts, as well as Lori over at the Kansas State Fair helps run the Kansas State Fair Twitter account, and if you've ever noticed, she is doing an amazing job with that, both Facebook and Twitter account. So they're always talking back and forth and making sure that they're listening to individuals that have something to say about the Kansas State Fair on social media.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Kansas State Fair being kind of like a melting pot of everybody coming and visiting Hutchinson, how much interaction do you guys have with the media outlets that are out of our area, out of the Wichita-Hutchinson area, like maybe Western Kansas or Northern Kansas? How much interaction do you guys have with those media outlets?
We actually still have a lot. We really push for statewide partnerships, and so really anywhere in the state of Kansas we're working with. And we don't want to forget about those contacts out in Western Kansas. We want to make sure everybody in the state of Kansas understands the entertainment found at the Kansas State Fair and ensure that those individuals have the opportunity to win tickets too. So it's definitely a statewide promotion, and we work to get in touch with every station we can.
Mm-hmm. Now, something I've been asking everybody is, State Fair is well known for the different food delicacies. Do you have a personal favorite that you're attracted to now, or do you have one that you've always have to have every year at the fair?
Well, every year I do have to have a Pronto Pup. They're great. Everybody has to have a Pronto Pup. I encourage everybody to try one. But actually, I just recently tried the Girl Scout Thin Mints, the fried Thin Mints, and I have to say that might be my new favorite delicacy. Those are pretty darn good. So I probably encourage every reporter now to try one of those.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. They're even really good cold too.
They're great anyway. You can eat them, so definitely try one of those.
Yeah. Now, what about on the opposite end of that whole spectrum? Is there anything here at the fair food-wise that kind of threw you for a loop? Like, wow, I can't believe that they're serving that.
Definitely the Krispy Kreme hamburger. I was thinking, oh, questionable, but of course I had to try it. I work here in the publicity office. I have to know what I'm suggesting. You know, it was definitely a good experience. I didn't hate it. I don't think I would serve it up at my own dinner table, but it was definitely a fair delicacy, and I have to say it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, any little tidbits you can maybe let out about things we can expect for next year, the big 100th anniversary of the fair?
You know, it's going to be a party. It never gets old. So just encourage everybody, to come out. Like I said, we're always brainstorming. I'm sure both the Kansas State Fair Board as well as Denny and Lori are brainstorming. So it's definitely going to be a good time. Just keep looking out on social media and making sure you're aware. We're going to be posting stuff, I'm sure, as we lead up to the fair. So definitely keep us in touch and make sure that you're following us on those social media sites.
Now, do you think this being the 100th anniversary next year, is that going to be more of a difficult thing for you guys to get promoted, being it being such a huge event? Because something like that's such a huge milestone that not a lot of fairs can say they've done that.
Exactly. It's huge. It's great for the Kansas State Fair. And really, if anything, it helps us. It helps that media coverage that we're looking for. This is a great milestone for the Kansas State Fair. Even just this year, we've had so much media come through, whether it be Newsweek or BBC Radio. We've had tons of coverage come through. So we're really looking forward to what next year will bring being the 100th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned a couple of interesting media outlets there. What would you say the not really the strangest, but the most kind of out of place media outlet that's covered the state fair this year? Has there been one?
I wouldn't say there's really one that's been out of place. We've definitely had some interest from all different spectrums, which is really great for us, and we've enjoyed it. I think it was probably a big eye-opener to both Newsweek and BBC. I'm sure they don't do a lot of state fair coverage like some of the smaller publications, but they came in ready to experience agriculture at its best, just with arms wide open, ready to get in here and figure out what they could report on and how Kansas State Fair and agriculture go hand in hand. So they were definitely great to work with.
Mm-hmm. One last question for you, and we'll let you go. Do you have has there been an act at the grandstand this year that you're looking forward to seeing, or that you saw already?
I do have to say, Shelly and I's weakness is Billy Currington and Jake Owen. We cannot wait to hopefully see them tomorrow. As soon as our duties wrap up here at the publicity office, we're going to see if we can scurry over there and snag a couple more tickets. There's some fairly attractive men, and we're not going to let them go without trying to get into that concert. So we'll see what we can do.
Nice. All right, well, I think that covered everything. Any last comments you want to toss in?
I just appreciate your guys' support of the Kansas State Fair. Thanks always for coming out and being great. And once again, if you haven't been to the Kansas State Fair, please come out and pay us a visit over at the publicity office. We're happy to meet anyone.
Perfect.
Awesome.